Hey there, how's it going? Great to see you again. Today we've got another new update for the YoloBox Pro. I know I seem to be doing a lot of videos about this, but that's because YoloBox keep putting these things out. So let's have a look at this new one. It's got some great new features. This is one of the biggest updates they've ever done. And well, first of all, I've got to get Severus here to set things going. Excellent director, that's the one. Over here, okay, thanks. Awesome, now that we've got that out of the way, let's have a look at the YoloBox. So here it is, you've seen it all before, so I'm just going to power that on and let's have a look at it starting up. So here are the new features that are available on the 1.6.1 YoloBox Pro upgrade, which has just been released. You'll have to excuse me while I read them off to the side. I haven't memorized these yet because it's literally just hit. There's a web URL overlay. This is going to let you overlay something from a web page of live graphics or whatever that you want to put on your screen. I'm not sure how that works yet, but we'll have a bit of a play with it and see what we can do. Is auto switching, which lets you preset a series of video sources and how they are switched, so the YoloBox can do automatic switching for you. This one is going to be great for one-man crews, they're saying. The USB webcam out feature now supports audio as well as video out, so you don't have to run a separate audio feed to your laptop or computer when you're outputting over the webcam feed. You can support scheduling of a live stream up to 7 days. Now they did make it up to 1 year in the 1.6.0, but they've had to change that back to 7 days. There are various reasons for that. It adds a timing feature for SD card videos, and there are two new multi-view templates. One of these is a news layout and the other one is a triple video layout. So we'll have a look at those in a wee while as well. You can now save all graphic overlays while creating a new live stream, and you can adjust the transparency of the timer window and some of the multi-view layout backgrounds. The UI has been redesigned for the accounts screen so that you can do more and see more in there, and they've also fixed the green bar issue at the top and the bottom of some video feeds. I've never had that myself, but I have read that other people have observed green bars sort of down the bottom and at the top of the screen, and that's been fixed up now. And as well as that, there's just been some normal performance enhancements that you see in any upgrade. So here we go, the upgrade is downloaded and it's installing. It's restarting the machine. Let's have a look at all of the new exciting stuff in the 1.6.0 and 1.6.1 updates, starting with the URL overlay. So here we have the updated YoloBox. I'm just going to open up this test project I've created. And in here I've got a couple of cameras running. I can add another video source, as you're aware of off the SD card that I've gotten here. Very easy thing to do. I just want that third video source for later. Now what I'm going to do here is have a look at overlays. I'm going to create a new overlay, and it's the web URL overlay. So I'll click on that, and now I'm just going to type in a URL for something, and that's done. Now I've specifically chosen an animated GIF in this case, which is tall, so I can make it that big. I can scale that up and down if I want to, but I'm just going to leave that the full height, and I can drag this across to the side here to position it on the screen where I want it. And there we go. So there's an animated GIF that I've got that's actually running off a website, so it's a URL. You could also put a scoreboard or something like that in here, or a mapping widget, or some times and dates, or some scores. Maybe even if you're looking at several YouTube channels and wanting to look at the different ratings that they've got off a website, you can put all of that information. If you can see it in a web page, you can put it here. You can also create your own web pages on a web server with data rich graphics and things like that, and post that in here as well. One thing you'll notice here though is that it's not transparent. Now I intentionally went and got a transparent GIF for testing this, and the transparency is not coming through. Hopefully that's something that will be available in a next release. The next thing to look at are the two new video source layouts available on the YoloBox Pro. You can just click add a video source, and you'll see down here we've got the picture-in-picture video, split view and side by side that you're all familiar with. Now we've also got a news layout, and a triple video layout as well. So let's have a look at the news layout and see what we've got in here. You can choose two sources, the first source and then the second source, and click next again, and as you can see that brings up a layout that's got those two video sources in it. You can set a background color to this if you want, a blue background color, and also a background image. I've got the city skyline, which makes a nice image background. Now you can also scale back the image opacity here, and what that does is it colorizes the background image based on the background color you've got. So if I choose a yellowy green color or something like that, then I can move the image opacity all the way back to 0, in which case it's just a background color, or I can mix it up, and that sort of lets you add a theme color or something to your background. Click on done. In the real world, on the left hand side you would have a video feed coming from a remote source probably, and on the right hand side you'd have the presenter talking to the video feed, or maybe an interview or something like that going on there. You'll also notice that the two images here are elevated a bit, and that's so that you can have a ticker or something along those lines going along the bottom. At the moment these boxes aren't reconfigurable or positionable. Once again, that might be something that changes in a future version. And finally there's the triple video layout. Once again, just click to add a video source, scroll up a little bit and you'll see the triple one there. Click on that, and I'm just going to use the 3 video feeds I've got available for that one. In the real world, once again, you'd probably have 3 different people in a panel of some sort or something along those lines. You can change the thickness of the border between them. As you can see, that's just slowly growing there. You can also change the color of that border, so I could make that white instead of black if I wanted, for example, and you can see that a little bit denser there. That's something that you'll use depending on what video is coming into the 3 feeds to make it work properly, or a themed color for your show. So click on done, and as you can see, if I just tap there, that feed comes up same as any other video feed. The next feature in this update is the auto switching, which is an interesting one, and it's actually quite easy to set up. I'll show you how. If you just tap this icon here, that's the auto switching, and you can tell it to start the auto switching, but first you need to set up some video sources, and you can choose any of the video sources you've got. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there you go. Click on done, and that's showing me the video sources here and how long I want them to play for. So you can set each one here to run for a certain number of seconds. So 9 seconds for the first one, 4 seconds for the second, 4 seconds for that one, and the triple I've got at the end, I'll let that run for 7 seconds. So there you can see I've got that all set up. The switching order I've set as sequential. You can do it sequential or random. There's one more setting at the bottom here, which is main video source. At the moment it's got none, so it'll just stay on the last video source in the sequence. If I choose that and go to HDMI 1 and head back from that, then when the sequence finishes it will jump back to the HDMI 1 source. At the moment when you run an auto switch, it will just start at the beginning and work its way down to the bottom and then end up on the main video source if you've selected one. What would be cool to see in the future is the ability to loop it so that it just keeps going around and round, or perhaps even a set number of loops. That would be really awesome to see in there. But for now it's a great new feature and we're glad to see it in here. Now when 160 was released, one of the things they had was the ability to schedule a live stream up to a year in advance. In 161 they brought that back to 7 days again for legal reasons with some of the streaming providers, but you can now schedule that up to 7 days in advance, and you can just do that by creating a new live stream, putting in a title, test 2, and then a scheduled date up to 7 days in advance. So I might say set this one to go on Friday and I want to start it at 7 PM. There we go. And that creates a scheduled live stream for me. Now you've seen the countdown overlays probably before on the YoloBox, but there's something new in those that we've been asking for as well, and that is being able to adjust the transparency of the background. It's real easy. It works like this. All we need to do is click here to create a new overlay, choose countdown timer, pick one of the templates, and now if you scroll up a little bit you'll see here that you can adjust the transparency. So here I want to make it more transparency or reduce the opacity, and there you can see I've got my countdown timer, which I can move around the page as well. I can change the color of it to make it something that stands out a bit more, much better to use. I can also scale it down a little bit if I want to, if it suits my background image. And there we go, you can just tap on that and you see it's come up there. Looks great. Another thing that we got in a previous update was the ability to play videos off an SD card. Well, they've enhanced that a little bit so that now you can see how long the video's been playing and how long it's got left by putting timers on the videos. Once again, I just add a video source and I can choose a video source off my SD card. I've got a whole heap of them here. I'm just going to pick one of these fights that I've got going on and click done. Now that's in here. If I switch to that, you'll be able to see here it's got this little timer at the top of it. If I zoom in a bit here, you can see that this timer is showing how long it's been playing and how long it's got left. That's a great feature if you're playing a video, because you really do want to see either a start point that you want to get to before you carry on, or how far you've got left before you need to switch to something else if it's a feature piece of topic information or something and you need to be prepared to take over and represent between a couple of videos. There are a few other features that have been updated as well. For example, the USB webcam out now takes audio as well as video, so you don't need to run a separate audio feed to your computer to be able to use this as a webcam in, say, OBS or something like that. If you're using a laptop as a video source and taking an HDMI out of your laptop and into the YoloBox, you're no longer going to see the green bars at the top and bottom. I haven't experienced that myself, so I can't show you that it's no longer doing that, but it has been fixed and reported as working well. And there's a slightly different layout of the user interface on the account settings screen, so now you can see things like your MAC address and other useful information that you might need if you're putting this onto a network that's got enhanced security. So there you have the YoloBox Pro 1.61 update and all of its glory. If this has been useful and you've enjoyed it and learned something, do please click here and subscribe. If you've got any questions or comments or want to know anything else about the YoloBox, put it into the comment section below. I read all of those and get back to as many as I can. And you should also watch this video and this video here, because they contain stuff that is going to be really useful to you. And I'll see you in another video soon.